And I've seen so many people talking about how WWE is going to go out of business and everything like that. Now, I think the more level-headed fans out there know that that's, kind of a stupid statement to say WWE is going to go out of business and AEW is going to take over and all this stuff. If those are your conditions on whether or not it will succeed or fail, then yeah, I'm 100%, thinking that in those terms, AEW will fail without a doubt. With AEW's TV show now debuting in October, we got All Out coming up at the end of this very month right here. There's just a lot of discussion, a lot of, we've heard so much of what AEW can do and will do, and we've also seen the other end where people are talking about what AEW can't do and what they will not do. So, I just wanted to bring up the discussion. I wanted to talk to you guys. I want you guys to reply to me. Just comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking on this. So here is what I'm thinking. So the question is out there. Is AEW going to fail? Are they going to succeed? I'm not the biggest fan of their website, by the way. This is kind of low tier when it comes to, big company and professional websites here. But anyway, I'm a little stickler for that. Anyway, though, it really depends, I think, on what your definitions of fail and succeed are. Now, do I think AEW is going to fail? In my eyes, in what I consider them succeeding, I do not think they're going to fail. I think AEW is going to make a lot of money. I think they're going to make a lot of stars, a lot of future stars like MJF, a guy that was, in the indies, and he was super young, doing his thing. He's a fantastic character, fantastic heel. He keeps the kayfabe up all the time. Guys like that, there's plenty of others, but that's just one of the guys that I think are really going to, explode throughout AEW and really going to become, hopefully a household name. So yeah, I think they're going to make a lot of money. I think they're going to, sell out arenas. The first either couple, look, they're coming to the Philly. They've announced their first couple shows. They're starting in DC. I think they're really going to they're already doing fantastic. They're already doing a fantastic job right now. And I know a lot of the people out there are AEW haters out there too. You usually hear about how amazing AEW is and how shitty WWE is, but there are those out there that do hate AEW, and you got to be realistic on both sides. I wish people would be just a little more realistic on both sides, because I'm about to get into that more in this video, and I know I'm going to hurt a lot of feelings, but I'm just saying stuff that I feel to be a more realistic, outlook on what is to come. I would not be surprised in the first couple months, several months, almost maybe even through the end of 2019, if these AEW first television shows, their pay-per-views, I don't know what the one's going to be after All Out this month. I'm sure they're going to have one by the end of the year. All these are probably either going to be sellouts or near sellouts, and they're going to do probably very good ratings-wise. And I know ratings, as much as people talk about how they really don't matter, and how, especially now in today's day and age, back in the day, it may have been close to mattering, but it's still, even back then, that you hear everybody talk about how it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just a way to almost compare how each show was doing, but they were both doing very well. Anyway, even in today's age where ratings aren't very good, that is, I can already tell you, that is not the only thing people are going to focus on, but the main thing people are going to focus on when they're comparing AEW and WWE again. And I would not be surprised if AEW's show, tops SmackDown ratings or tops Raw ratings to begin with, to start out. Just because, you got the intrigue, you got the people wanting to come in for the first time, see what's going on. It's very common. Now, I'm not saying that they will top WWE. I'm saying I will not be surprised if they do, and that shouldn't be a major factor on, oh my God, that's it, WWE's done, which people are already saying now. But you need to calm it down a little bit with that. I loved everybody supporting AEW, and that's great. But if they come in and they pop a higher rating than Raw or SmackDown or whatever on their first show or first couple shows, and they steadily increase, now that is fantastic. That is amazing news for AEW fans, wrestling just in general. That is fantastic stuff. But you can't forget what happened in the past. Just because you're going to pop some good ratings, you're going to maybe beat the WWE. This is talking if. This is a big if they're beating ratings on, Raw or SmackDown. This is even if. They may even not do that, but you've seen in the past what happens and what could happen. It doesn't mean they're going to destroy WWE or kill the WWE or take down the WWE or be better than the WWE. It's just not the case. Just because if they get higher ratings, it just doesn't mean that. And I personally hope they do. I hope AEW comes in these first couple shows, and I hope they do top a SmackDown rating or a Raw rating. Do you know how the wrestling world is already, a buzz, and everybody's just really feeling like they're getting more into wrestling now more than ever, I feel like. Not so much WWE. People are really, I'm turning out, I'm tuning off, whatever that phrase is. Stop watching. I'm going to watch, independence. I'm going to watch Japan. I'm going to watch AEW, all that stuff. Now for WWE, yes, people are not as interested as ever, but I'm just talking about in general, wrestling as a whole, just like an umbrella. There's a lot more people watching wrestling than there have been in the past couple years. Is that due to AEW? Is that like, hey, AEW is doing this? I don't know if this is gonna be the wrong thing, but I don't think so. I don't think this wrestling boom is because of AEW. I think everything, and I'm not just saying this as a WWE fan. You may think I am. I'm sorry if you do, but I think all of this is happening because of the WWE. This whole wrestling boom is because of the WWE. It's their lack of, lack of product, lack of entertainment. People are wanting more out of wrestling because WWE has always been, lately has been the go-to and the only, show to watch as far as, more mainstream fans go. So I think the boom is more contributed to WWE just not being as good and people wanting more to anything. I don't think it's necessarily just, hey, AEW guys, it's Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. These are the guys that everybody, or as well as everybody else. I don't want people to think, oh, well, what about, Shawn Spears and those guys? I mean them all as a whole, okay? And Omega and everybody. Anyway, I'm just trying to say that I think WWE is the main reason for this wrestling boom right now. And AEW is taking advantage of that, and they're doing a fantastic job, not taking anything waste, not saying they're doing anything wrong. They're doing a fantastic job with that. Now, does that mean they are going to succeed? That's the whole point of this video and, the discussion that we're talking about. Is AEW going to fail? And what I just said, the fact that I think that they're going to make stars, the fact that I think they're going to make a lot of money, and I think they can do it for a relatively good amount of time. I'm not saying that they're going to just, go on forever like the WWE has or anything, but and those markers to me means they were successful. If you make a lot of money, I think that should be probably the major thing as far as being successful. But, I mean, everybody has their own thing. That's just how I see it. And that's why I think they will be successful. Now, a lot of other people, I would say a lot of more AEW fans and, the hardcore fan base, they are a little more AEW is going to top the WWE. AEW is going to take over wrestling. AEW is going to be the number one company in professional wrestling, making WWE number two. And I've seen so many people talking about how WWE is going to go out of business and everything like that. Now, I think the more level-headed fans out there know that that's, kind of a stupid statement to say WWE is going to go out of business and AEW is going to take over and all this stuff. If those are your conditions on whether or not it will succeed or fail, then yeah, I'm 100%, thinking that in those terms, AEW will fail without a doubt. Here's what you got to do. Here, just for a second, just be a little realistic here, okay? WWE, they have all the talent in the world. Everybody talks about how they have the talent. They have everything going for them except their stories, except, what they're presenting and all this kind of stuff. Their pay-per-views are good. They're putting on good pay-per-views and stuff like that. That is all well and good. So to think that AEW is going to come in, swoop down, destroy the WWE with all that talent and all that stuff, guys, it's hard for me to buy. To me, I think AEW is going to start out strong. and I think they're going to hit that plateau down the road. I'm not saying it's going to be soon, not saying it's going to be before the end of 2019. I think they're going to hit that plateau, but when they do hit that competition with WWE, for real, I'm talking right now, it's more of like a verbal competition. Everybody's, jaw jacking, throwing words out there. It's almost fun and games for the moment. But once AEW actually presents itself as hardcore competition, right now I would say it's more of a softcore competition, I guess. It's not as serious as it could be. It's not as serious as WCW was back in the day. If they hit that level, if AEW hits that level of success in competition that WCW did back in the day with WWE, I have no doubt in my mind that that WWE will pull out all the stops, they will ramp it up, and I think they will do what needs to be done to squash the AEW. Now, I'm not saying like, oh, they're just going to wipe them off the map, because that's not the case either. So what I'm saying is WWE, right now, they have the tools. WWE has the tools to, in my opinion, be like way better than AEW. AEW is good. AEW is, off to a hot start. They're exciting. They have a lot of things working for them. But WWE has everything working for them except the stories and the bad writing and the corniness and the over-scripting. That's the only thing that, in my eyes, WWE is really lacking. They have the production value. They have fantastic packages, all kinds of stuff. They have history, background. They have everything working for it except those small things. Now, if AEW presents itself as a major competition, all WWE has to do is do a slight pivot. If WWE does a slight pivot from what they're doing right now, they get a little more edgy, actually edgy, not just saying bitch and damn every once in a while, and they actually get a little more edgy. They have less scripted promos. They let the guys have a little more freedom, the guys and girls. And by the way, like if you talk about, speaking of the girls, the WWE's women's division, you talk about squashes AEW's women's division hands down. But anyway, all WWE would have to do is do a slight pivot in their content, the way they present themselves. And in my eyes, AEW doesn't have anything that could even come close to competing with that. If WWE does a slight pivot, I keep saying slight pivot because it's not even a major change WWE has to do. It's a slight adjustment that they have to do. AEW will not be able to compete with them. I know that's hard to hear, and I know it's just my opinion, and it is just my opinion. But there's no way, especially talent-wise. Both companies have a lot of talent, but WWE is loaded with much more talent than AEW. Looking at the roster right now, and I don't want to come off as I'm hating on AEW because I am being realistic here. I am trying to look at this from a more realistic standpoint. And they do have a lot of very good names. You got Adam Page, very talented. But then you got guys like Brandon Cutler, and I'm not saying they're terrible. They're just indie guys. I know that's terrible and shitty to say, and if Brandon Cutler somehow heard me say that, he would probably feel bad, but I'm not trying to disrespect these guys. These guys will always be like better at this kind of stuff than I would ever be. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to be realistic here, okay? That's what I'm trying to do. But you guys, I love Chuck Taylor. I absolutely adore Chuck Taylor. He did fantastic things in CZW. I'm a giant CZW fan for those that are new around here. I don't know how to say it besides almost sounding mean, but that can't compete with the level of competition and stuff that goes on in WWE right now. Now, I'm not saying that AEW is not going to be able to compete because they are. They have this momentum. They have this wave of momentum that they are on right now. Plus, they got John Moxley, Kenny Omega. They got the Young Bucks. They do have some big names. And in my eyes, like I said, the guy that I think is going to really take AEW to the next level in the years to come is going to be MJF. That guy is fucking money. But when you look at this roster pool, guys, you have to be real. You have to be realistic. You have to. You can't just blindly say AEW is going to just be the best and they're going to succeed. They're going to be the number one company. You have to be realistic. You have to. But anyway, as I'm saying, you got these librarian gimmick that is so cringy and so bad. And you got guys like Shawn Spears, which, I mean, the 10 gimmick was fun. I'm sorry, though. Shawn Spears was a guy who couldn't even get over as a mid-carder, but now is being presented as almost a upper-card main eventer in AEW. And I'm not saying that it means he sucks. I'm just saying this is how people perceive him, and it's going to be so hard to overcome. And I hope he does. I hope he overcomes it. But things like this, it's going to make it so hard for AEW to succeed as far as topping WWE. And that's a lot of people's goals as far as how they succeed or not. I don't believe that. I don't know if I'm setting the bar too low for AEW to succeed. Maybe I am, maybe I don't know. But I think they're going to make a lot of money, and they're going to make some future stars that are going to be going on to, you know, make a big impact on the business of wrestling in years to come. All that said, look, All Out's going to be a fantastic show. And you got big names headlining. You got look, these two matches right here could I wouldn't say main event, but would be high profile matches in in WWE anywhere around the world. These are high profile matches. They really are. And look, I hope nothing for the best for these guys for AEW. I really do. I'm going to be tuning in. I'm going to be watching to see what they do. I'm going to be watching each week. I'm going to be keeping tabs, you know, who's doing better, like content-wise, not ratings-wise, which I know everybody's going to focus on, and which show just genuinely is more, you know, entertaining. Now, people continually make fun of how bad WWE is as far as, you know, scripting and writing and, you know, acting and all that kind of stuff. But I've seen the stuff that AEW's done just like on their YouTube channels and stuff, and it is way worse. So we won't know until the shows actually start. So that's going to be the good thing on far as, you know, how the television shows are going to translate over as far as success goes or not. But in the end, wrapping it all up here, is AEW going to succeed? In my eyes, yes. They're going to make money. They're going to make stars. And that, to me, is how you succeed in pro wrestling. Now, how long is that success going to last? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I would hope it would be for a good chunk of time. Impact has been around fucking forever now. I think they will succeed, yes. But when you look at the other extreme, and if you think that they're going to come in and top the WWE and take down the WWE, if that is your definition of success, then sorry, I hit the mic, but no, I don't believe at all they will succeed in taking down the WWE, putting the WWE out of business. It's just not realistic. It's just not gonna. I mean, you always say never in the wrestling business, so I guess I won't say it will never happen, but it is very unlikely. Will they be a good alternative? Will they be something to watch besides WWE or alongside WWE? Sure. And are people going to shit on WWE and always love AEW? Sure. And it'll be vice versa. It'll be the other way around. That's the world. That's just the way it's going to be. That's the wrestling community is you know, as popular as I say it's gotten recently. It's also I've never seen the wrestling community be as more polarizing or toxic, I guess. And it probably would have been this way back in WCW days if, you know, the internet was around, but it wasn't. So you never really saw the toxicity, saw the hate online, the people just so mad and the shitty things they say to like the wrestlers and the wrestlers having to defend their own stuff that they like. And then it is a really fun time right now in wrestling, but it's also a really like bad time. If like I do, you could go and just ignore all the shit online and just enjoy both shows, and you'll probably get a lot more joy out of it. But when you're into the, you know, the thick of things, and you're into, you know, Twitter and all that kind of stuff, or reading all the comments, it's fun, but it's also really shitty at the same time. I want to enjoy both products, but there's some people out there that just won't accept that. They just won't accept it. So I know this video is trailed off and on. It's been on the tracks, it's been off the tracks, but Bottom line, I want to know what you guys think. Is AEW going to succeed? First of all, when you say yes or don't just say yes or no, what is your definition of success? Is it to make money? Is it like mine is to make money, to, make stars that can, go on and be like household names later? Or is it to take out the WWE? Maybe you think that, and maybe you think they will be successful. I don't know. Let me know down below. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the, the pool of discussion right here in the comment section. So hit it up. I'll see you guys on the next video. Just at Java Radio if you're looking for us on Twitter or anywhere else. Just type in Java Radio and we are going to pop up. So that's it. We'll see you on the next podcast and on the next video.